So first off, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use some of a Tack solution, and we're gonna do a really quick wipe down. This car is already washed, so we do recommend washing the car prior to doing this. And then once we got it all wiped down, we're gonna go ahead and use our slip solution, which is our soapy solution. One last defense of contamination control is just going to be just using the squeegee and just going all the way where it's actually going to protect right here. And you want to do the same for this edge right here. This is an area that holds a lot of dirt, especially for not so new cars. So once we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and spray more slip solution and be generous with this. Okay, next we're gonna have this piece right here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do something called the reverse roll method. So it goes right here. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of squeegee the water out of there so it's a dry spot. And we're gonna go ahead and peel, stick loosely, don't have to be perfect. And then we're gonna go all the way out, also loosely, to the other side. You can see it's not quite perfect, but that's okay. All right, the whole point was to basically get it on the car, and that controls contamination from getting underneath, which means you'll have a cleaner install. Okay, so then you're just gonna go ahead and get under there again. Just go ahead and give it a nice little tack, or sorry, slip. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and loosen this up a little bit. And I can do this a little bit later, but I'm gonna go ahead and just get it up to here. That's nice and tacked. And I have enough slack right here. So what we're gonna do now is the alignment is pretty simple. It's just right here, you got this little notch. It goes right above that. And then it follows this body line like so. So once you feel comfortable with that, you're gonna get your Tack solution, which is typically just water, and you're gonna flush all that out. And you notice how it's going to go a little bit inside of that edge. Okay, that's very key. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and tack about 2 inches. Next, we're going to go to the other side. And remember, I kind of stopped hydrating up to this point, so I'm going to go ahead and peel this back, and then go ahead and hydrate all of this as well. Okay, there you go. Now we're going to go ahead and flush this out with our Tack. Same thing, guys, that we did on the other side, but you're gonna go ahead and move the middle and then stretch it across. Okay, that's very important to move the middle. Okay, and once you're comfortable with that, go ahead and tack this down. Now that we have 2 inches right here tacked, 2 inches on that tacked, you can see it's starting to fold over. Why? Well, because it's wanting to fold itself over because of the tension that we've created. So you're just gonna hold right here in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and use some Tack as well. Oops, sprayed on myself. And once you feel, you can actually hinge it up and down. I'm actually perfect, and it goes right to the edge right here. And I'm going to go ahead and tack that middle. And now, don't forget to spray your slip solution on the top surface, and then you can work. You can actually kind of work itself out right here. I'm going to just go ahead and pause that. And you can move it up and down like so until you're happy with it. And go ahead and kind of use about, I would say, like 60% force, not overly doing it. And this is one of those areas that's kind of underrated in terms of protection, because if you travel a lot, when we had our X, we used to travel a lot with it. We have luggages right here, and you accidentally hit that lip right here. That's the most common areas that you'll hit. And that's where it damages. So this is a very easy protection and a quick way to make sure that you're good. Now that we're done, we're gonna do something called a double take, which basically is you're just repeating that step one more time. And this is a pretty thin piece. And this piece right here works perfectly. And now we're gonna go ahead and spray some Tack all up in this edge right here. And when we first designed this, at first, we're like, I don't know if we wanna put this edge. But we got some feedback from our customers, and the customers really wanted that edge to be there. So we said, all right, we'll make it happen. So we made it happen. And you can see I'm squeegeeing all of the edge right here. And then after that, I can push this in. And I start from the middle, and then you should have your tack with you so that you can kind of, and you can see I can get underneath that. Look at that, in certain areas. And now, that's all protected. Okay, so this part, what I like to do is I like holding one of this because it creates more, less tension on this area, which makes it far easier to actually get down right there. I'm gonna go ahead and continue my edges right here. Do the same thing on the other side. When you do this, guys, just make sure you're really focusing on that edge, and then certain areas you might be able to, look at that, okay, get under there a little bit. Just pull that back just a tiny bit. Certain areas you might not have to do that. That one I went a little high, but no worries. Luckily I can do this, right? And then keep going with your tack solution. This is gonna help you a lot, making it easier for you to basically push this all in like this. Okay, same thing here, guys. Just hold this. I did the same thing on the other side. All right, lastly, we're gonna go ahead and spray our tack solution all the way across again and repeat, rinse and repeat. Okay, if you have to, you can go ahead and just use that squeegee to get your finger across. It's just a couple areas that I think went a little bit under, so I'm not really too worried. But you can see I can use the squeegee, kind of make sure that everything is good, which it is. Then we'll go ahead and do this area. Okay, this is a very important part, guys. Once you're done, you want to make sure you wick away all this moisture right here, especially the top, because it holds that moisture. And what's going to happen is going to lift that up if you don't get all that moisture out. So get a dry microfiber, just really get all that. I actually found a small bubble right here. Luckily I can go down because I didn't tack that area. And this is another opportunity for you to just kind of inspect this area. I'm really happy with that. No bubbles anywhere around, and I'm good. Now my trunk seal or trunk edge is protected.